Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday talking about what's going on in the markets. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin quickly. We currently have Bitcoin sat at $28,520, up 0.74% within the last 24 hours, and we've seen a 4% rise for Ethereum in the last 24 hours, up to $1,910. Let's take a quick look at this chart because this seems to have increased pretty quickly. If we take a look here, we were sat at $1,800 just yesterday. We have now seen a really nice increase for the price of Ethereum. I'm glad I'm hodling on to that small purchase that I made earlier in the week. It's performing well on that trade. Let's take a look now at some cryptocurrency news, and then at the end of today's stream we will be analysing the price of Bitcoin, seeing what's going on in the markets this week. But we have a lot to discuss today, so let's get straight into it. First of all, let's get this stream all set up correctly. We are talking about the de-dollarization of the dollar. So let's talk about this. This is the headlines in all of the news recently. We have the 3 articles here that unravel this pretty simply for us all to understand, starting with the Malaysian Prime Minister seeking to reduce USD dependence. Now, there's been a video of the Malaysian Prime Minister circulating online. If you haven't seen it, don't worry. We will be discussing this in today's stream. So the Prime Minister of Malaysia has become the latest leader to show intent to leave the US dollar behind and utilize an alternative currency. The US dollar has been the globally used currency for exchange and trade due to its status as the world reserve currency. But this is looking like it could be changing. So let's take a look at this. The PM has become the latest world leader to publicise their ambition to abolish the utility of the US dollar within their country. And they reportedly said there is no reason for the country like Malaysia to continue relying on the US dollar in attracting investments into the country. Other world leaders have taken steps away from the US dollar recently as well. So we saw in February, Russia declared it would begin trading on a ruble yuan basis and increase its yuan reserves. But they are not the only ones. We've also seen a trade alliance between several Eastern countries called the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which introduced a new member last week. Saudi Arabia became the latest member of the alliance, which sees it join other countries seeking to ditch the US dollar. So we're seeing a huge amount of countries worldwide so far ditching the US dollar and looking at alternative ways to trade between different jurisdictions. And this means that the USD has less value. It has the less need to help facilitate these transactions cross-border. So we see here the Malaysian PM, who also stated, when I had a meeting with the Chinese president, he immediately said, I refer to Anwar's proposal on the Asian Monetary Fund, and he welcomed discussions. So what this may mean for the US dollar, let's discuss that a little bit here. We can see here a formation of the Asian Monetary Fund would see Asian countries involved completely disregarding the US dollar, with the yuan the likely alternative, although this is not confirmed. The USD has been the world reserve currency since 1944, but has lost a significant portion of its value in recent decades due to Fed money printing. And this, alongside the US's historical rivalry with Russia and China, gives the Eastern countries extra incentives to gain as much support as possible. Now, the money printing in the last couple of years has been absolutely insane. I think there's a fact that 5 years ago, 80% of the money that's been printed today was not around. Something absolutely insane. So we can see here that the average span of a world reserve currency is around 94 years. And now the USD has been the world reserve currency since 1944. So we can see that this date is approaching pretty soon. So what's 1944 plus 94? We're looking at 2040 we're looking at, so that's only 17 years away. So we can see here we are extremely close to the average lifespan. Obviously this is just an average, it's not a definite, but we can see here that the country's breakaway from the US dollar is becoming more and more popular, and the demand for the US dollar is becoming less and less. So let's talk about the effects this has had on the price of Bitcoin. But first, quickly, let's take a look at the DXY. We can see here that the DXY topped out in around September 2022. We've then seen it fall drastically in terms of the daily chart. And you can see here in the last couple of weeks, it started to fall down here as well. So the DXY compares the dollar to a basket of 6 other currencies, fiat currencies. And you can see here that its value has been falling to the downside. Now, first of all, this has an immediate effect on Bitcoin. We'll get into this actually. Let's take a look at this article in order. I'm not going to skim us through the article like I usually do and then try and tie it in with the article. We'll take a look at the article as it runs. So we can see here that many major countries have been looking at forming agreements with China and using the yuan for international transfers rather than the US dollar, moving away from the US dollar, which is being called the de-dollarization. This is causing a lot of fear within the financial markets and causing a huge amount of concerns. But as we just said, this isn't something that is unexpected. The usual lifespan of a reserve currency is around 94 years, and we are slowly approaching that level for the US dollar. So we are seeing other countries decide to move away from the US dollar when they're trying to trade with different jurisdictions. So what we are seeing here, what we should talk about now, is this effect on Bitcoin. Now, first of all, the US dollar has an immediate effect with Bitcoin because the majority of Bitcoin is traded against the dollar. So we can see here that they have an inverse relationship. When the price of Bitcoin is going up, the US dollar is probably going down, and when the price of the dollar is going up, the price of Bitcoin is usually going down, because we usually compare Bitcoin to the US dollar, and we can see this pretty frequently. But what we can see here is the de-dollarization of the economy is a good thing for Bitcoin, because if the US dollar is going down, like I just said, we can see the price of Bitcoin going up, but that only stands for a certain amount of time. Now, this de-dollarization so far is bullish for the price of Bitcoin, but there is a limit to the value addition Bitcoin can receive from a bearish dollar. If the dollar completely loses its integrity, this will likely have a catastrophic impact on the US economy. And we all know that Bitcoin is still tied closely to traditional stock markets, especially those tech stocks. So when the prices of the stock markets start to fall, usually we do see the price of Bitcoin falling as well. There is a correlation there. So if the dollar completely loses its integrity, I do imagine that the traditional financial markets would absolutely plummet. This is something that a lot of people expect, obviously. And then obviously the price of Bitcoin would fall as a result of that, because we do have that correlation. But there is another thing to be said, that in the long term, people may still look to move away from fiat currencies from the fear of this occurring, and therefore look for assets like Bitcoin, causing a rise in the price of Bitcoin as well. So that is just something we should be aware of. Obviously, in the short term, could be quite positive. In the longer term, if we do see what was the term used here, a loss of integrity, then we could see a big dump for the price of Bitcoin. But then I think in the even longer term, this would be bullish for Bitcoin once again. So expect some volatility. That's the least we can say for Bitcoin. We have one more article on the matter. Brazilian bank launches stablecoin to allow holders to dollarize their portfolio. So slightly opposite here. Not really on the same topic, but it's in the same token. And we can see here the most prominent Latin American investment bank has added a native stablecoin to its suite for crypto assets. So the Brazilian investment bank BTG has announced on Tuesday it will launch a stablecoin, the BTG doll. And this is the first stablecoin launched by a bank. So this will be backed by the US dollar reserve, managed by the BTG itself, and the largest investment bank in Latin America. So pretty exciting here. We can see here they've said we recently launched 8 new assets. We already have 22 cryptocurrencies on the platform, and now we have our own stablecoin. This shows that the bank trusts technology and will continue with its commitment to offering new innovative digital products and services. So the first bank to launch a stablecoin. Pretty exciting to see here. Positivity, the adoption is happening, and banks are looking to onboard the blockchain technology and using it as an actual system within their banks. Interesting to see how this will run. Very good news there, I would say. Let's take a look at the next piece of news here. Let's take this across. Before we get on to the next piece of news, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. As I said, we do these live streams every single day talking about what's going on in the market. It's taking a look at the price of Bitcoin. We will be analyzing the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream, so please don't forget to stay tuned until then. Let's see how many likes we are currently on today's stream. We're currently sat at 9 likes. Please make sure to like if you haven't already. We are on a mission to get to 2,850 subscribers by the end of the week. We're currently on 2,812. So we are still pretty far from that. Maybe it was an ambitious goal for the week, but I think we can do it. And please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's take a look at this article we have here. We have Brian Armstrong. Well, this isn't what the article we are ready to talk about yet. This is the article we want to talk about. First of all, the Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital produces a record 2,195 Bitcoin in Q1 of 2023. So Q1 ended over the weekend, or maybe it was on Friday. What day was the 1st of April? When everyone was pulling April Fool's pranks and it was rumoured that Huobi was being sold. April Fool's catches me out every single year. Anyway, Q1 of 2023 is over. Overall, the prices of cryptocurrency performed very well in Q1, and miner Marathon Digital had a very good start to the year as well. This was definitely needed. The whole cryptocurrency space in Q4 of 2022 was absolutely awful. Like, the depression that spread across people in crypto was at its peak. But then January hit, and it was just like a light bulb turned on, flick of a switch, and everything started to turn around, and everyone started to be happy again. And things have turned positive. The prices in people's portfolios have improved, and Bitcoin miners have started to be able to have a bit of a better performance, because cryptocurrency companies, not that this is related to this article just yet, we'll get around to this article in just a second, just on a little bit of a divergence. Cryptocurrency companies, they're on the public trading. The stock market prices are usually tied pretty closely to the price of Bitcoin. So we see that pretty frequently. So Bitcoin mining companies see their stocks fall when the price of Bitcoin falls. But when the price of Bitcoin moves to the upside, they perform pretty well as well. I mean, I think Coinbase's stock, actually, let's pull this up quickly. Coinbase's stock has outperformed the price of Bitcoin this year so far, I believe. Let's take a look at Coinbase. I automatically type USDT now. We want to take a look at Coin, which is the ticker for Coinbase. We can see here on the daily chart at the start of 2023, it was trading down at $30. It's now up 62 at 62. So we can see here we've already seen a 88% increase. If we take a look at the price of Bitcoin, we can see here that Bitcoin started the year at 16,000. I mean, this is so low. The fact that we're up at $28,000, this was such a horrible time. We can see here Bitcoin is up 73%. So Coinbase has actually outperformed Bitcoin so far. And this is due to the price of Bitcoin bouncing. The stock prices of cryptocurrency related companies bounced pretty nice as well. But this mining company has had an extra bonus on top of that, because they've produced a record 2,195 Bitcoin in Q1 of 2023. So it increased its hash rate by 64%. Let's take a look at this. One of the largest mining companies in North America and the world has released its first quarter operations report, stating that it mined a record 2,195 Bitcoin in the first 3 months of 2023. So the CEO and chairman has said, by improving our hash rate, we increased our Bitcoin production by 41% from the prior quarter to a record 2,195 Bitcoin in Q1. In March, we produced a record 825 Bitcoin, which is a 21% increase from the prior month. The mining company added that during the period, it had increased its operational hash rate by 64% from 7 exahashes to 11.5 exahashes. Marathon Digital CEO added that the company aimed to reach 23 exahashes by mid-2023. Now, we've just done a really interesting article actually on cryptosavingexpert.com, if you do want to check it out, about cryptocurrency mining and the cost to mine and the costs that would be needed to perform a 51% attack on the Bitcoin network. Very interesting article there, and you can learn all about the exahashes and the hash rates. But essentially, Bitcoin is run by proof of work. I'm sure we all know this. And the Bitcoin proof of work means that for miners to mine a Bitcoin, they have to perform a complex cryptographic puzzle, which is essentially they need to calculate a hash which has an output lower than the target hash, but the hash algorithm can only be calculated one way. So you can't get the target hash and reverse the algorithm. Instead, you have to test over and over again until you find an input that has an output which is lower than that target point. Now, to do this, they need to have incredibly high hash rates. The higher the better, and the more likely they are to complete that complex cryptographic puzzle first, and therefore they can mine Bitcoin and create some more Bitcoin, minting them into circulation, and therefore have some Bitcoin to sell to make some profits. These mining companies spend a huge amount of money on electricity fees, on actual hardware. So then when they manage to mine Bitcoin, if they do manage to mine Bitcoin, they need to sell that Bitcoin in order to cover those fees. So it's pretty nice that they've made so much Bitcoin because they have upped the quality of their mining and they've increased their hash rate massively. Let's take a look at this, what we've seen here. Marathon reduced its debt by $50 million and terminated its credit facilities with Silvergate Bank. So in terms of financials, the team stated that the company had improved its financial position during the first quarter of 2023 by reducing its debt by $50 million. So they've used that money for some good. During the bear market, a lot of mining companies struggled massively, and then when the market seemed to turn to the upside, you have to think mining companies typically hold a huge amount of Bitcoin. When the price of Bitcoin falls, it means that their reserves are worth a huge amount less. And because they're still trying to cover the costs of the hardware, of the electricity fees, when the price of Bitcoin falls, they have to sell more Bitcoin in order to cover that first fee that they have continuously every single day. So they've managed to take some of those worries away when the bear market hits. It can get very, very tight and the margins can be very, very thin. But when the bull market starts again, and the prices start to move to the upside, they have a little bit of an easier ride and they can start reducing their debts, etc. Let's take a look at the next piece of news, though. Let's move on from this and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. We have here, let's get this right, Brian Armstrong hints at desktop version for Coinbase Wallet. So we can take a look at this. He's suggested Coinbase Wallet needs a desktop version in response to sending testnet ETH out for the company's layer 2 solution, which is going to be called Base. So the CEO took to Twitter on Monday, I did see this tweet, actually saying that he was offering some testnet tokens. Let's see here. If any developers are interested in trying out Base, reply with your ENS name or address and I'll send you some Base Goerli ETH to use on testnet. Yes, these are testnet coins. So essentially he can send out testnet coins and then they can test out the new layer 2 solution that he has created and see what they think of it. So in February, the exchange announced its latest project, an Ethereum-based network offering a developer-friendly interface to create decentralized applications seamlessly. So we can see here that Coinbase is a self-custody software wallet built by Coinbase. It offers various features such as dApps connectivity and staking. To read more about Coinbase Wallet, check out one of our articles at cryptosavingexpert.com. But we can see here that he has tweeted, shoot, we need a desktop version of Coinbase Wallet. Hard to send all these out on mobile, lol. So maybe this is something that we could see in the future, and I think that would be pretty nice. I prefer working on my desktop when I'm doing things like this. I know mobile applications are easy, but I like a desktop, old-fashioned way, big screen, understand what I'm doing. Let's move on to the next piece of news here. This one's really, really fun. I had a little bit of a go with this one this morning. So Twitter's Doge logo has a hidden Easter egg. Here's the secret to unlocking it. So I'm not a gamer myself, but an Easter egg is, what I've learned, is a secret piece of information or a secret feature or bonus that you can find within different games. So we can have it here. Easter egg is a term from video game culture that refers to a feature or bonus hidden by game developers that players can find or unlock. It has since come to be used for such hidden features in the digital world in general. So it can be used for cheat codes. It can be used to get extra lives within specific games. I'm not really a gamer. Didn't know this was a thing, but we can take advantage of this. Take a look at this. So in the top corner of my screen here, you can see we have the Doge. Now, if I click the left button on my mouse, and I do, right, let me get this right. Oh no, I've done it wrong. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, you can see the Doge on my screen. Maybe the live performance wasn't the best idea, but you can see we have the Doge here. If we do this and then we go up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, the Doge spins. That was the excitement of the day. I thought that was really interesting. And that's what goes on there. Let me know if you have a go. I thought that was pretty cool. Little bit of a thing to get your head around. Elon Musk has changed the logo to Doge. We did discuss this in yesterday's news. And he's since been tweeting memes about this. I thought this one was pretty funny. But let's move on. Not much of a cryptocurrency news that's relevant right now. Just something that I thought was pretty cool. Let's take a look at the next piece of news, which is South Korean authorities confiscate $160 million in assets linked to Terra executives. So let's take a look at this. While pursuing Do Kwon's months ago, South Korean authorities were also busy confiscating properties linked to other Terraform Labs executives as part of the prosecution of Terra collapse in May. So roughly $160 million of assets have been seized from 8 Terra executives, mainly in the form of real estate, according to local experts. Over $76 million in properties were taken and from co-founder of the Terraform Labs, and they have been accused by the Seoul Southern District Prosecutor's Office for generating over $117 million in undue gains while operating the Luna. And the prosecutors said the co-founder also unfairly earned $140 billion by acquiring Luna at a cheap price before it launched, then sold them off as the price increased. Per the report, the prosecutors will continue to track down and freeze every hidden asset linked to Terra's co-founder and other company employees to prevent them from arbitrarily disposing of assets which were funded using proceeds from crime during the trial. So the prosecutors have said, we are still investigating the property ownership status of the suspects and we plan to carry out collection preservation for the confirmed property in the future in order to recover the proceeds of crime and recover damages. So we can see here that repercussions are being given, finally, for Do Kwon and other leaders of the Terra ecosystem. This has been a long time coming. He's just been sat in Montenegro, I believe, for a very long period of time. It kind of got swept under the carpet for a period of time while FTX became the main thing to be looking at and observing within the cryptocurrency space, but things have turned around now and Do Kwon seems to be getting some sort of repercussions, which is really nice to see because we want to see the malicious actors within the space get what they deserve, and then maybe that will fear away other people from trying to use the cryptocurrency industry as a way to just scam a load of people out a load of money. So that is what we are seeing there. Let's move on to the next article we have here. We have Layer Zero Labs raised $120 million at $3 billion valuation. Now that is just an absolutely insane valuation. We see big numbers in crypto. So we can see here they've had a Series B investment round, and the company behind the Layer Zero blockchain interoperability technology reached a new valuation of $3 billion. That's a pretty good image from the crypto saving expert team. We can see here they're swimming in cash right now. Morgan J has just reminded me, please make sure if you haven't already to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button. If you do enjoy these updates, we do them every single day at 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. BST time, talking about the latest cryptocurrency news, taking a look at what's going on in the market, and we will finish off today's stream by doing a little bit of Bitcoin analysis as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that. We currently have 2,812 subscribers, and we're on a mission to get to 2,850 by the end of the week. Maybe it was a little bit ambitious, but we can try our best. We are currently on, let's get this right, I'm looking at the wrong data here, 15 likes for today's stream. So if you haven't already, please make sure to slap the like button. But let's move on now to the next piece of cryptocurrency news. We have here that Layer Zero Labs raised at a $3 billion valuation. So almost a year ago, they raised $135 million in an investment round. And we can see here that at the time, the valuation was $1 billion, 3 times smaller than the one announced today. The co-founder and CEO of Layer Zero Labs, the difficult mid-year market conditions were why Layer Zero started money from the round late last year. Still, he enforced that Layer Zero didn't need the money that was raised to support Layer Zero's expansion goals. And they mentioned that one of the major objectives for this year is to make considerable inroads into the Asia-Pacific market and the gaming industry. We can see here with the 2 funding rounds, Layer Zero Labs has received $263 million And according to what a source told the block, all its funding rounds have the same SAFE, short for Simple Agreement for Future Equity structure plus token warrants. So we can see huge valuations there. We have a description of what Layer 0 is. So it's interoperability technology that enables dApps to develop and communicate across various blockchains. If you want to know more about Layer 0, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. The best cryptocurrency website out there. You have completely free news, guides, courses, and market data all at your fingertips. All you need to do is go to cryptosavingexpert.com, press that big blue sign up button, fill in that information. You get access completely for free. And if you tick that box there as well, you get access to our newsletter every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the dot. You can learn what's happened in the week of crypto and what's to come in the week of crypto. So really useful newsletter there. It goes straight into your inbox. We don't spam you with anything else. Also, you get the chance to win some prizes as well. Don't quote me on the value of these prizes. We can take a look at Crypto Saving Expert and see how these prizes have done. I think someone got chosen yesterday. If we take a look at the Crypto Saving Expert Twitter, if you haven't already, go over to Crypto Saving Exp on Twitter. We are Crypto Saving Exp over here because the Twitter handle was too long for Twitter to accept, so we cut off the ERT at the end. But we can see here that somebody did win a prize yesterday for signing up to our newsletters somewhere within all of this news that we update you all with. Make sure to give us a follow if you haven't already, and you may be in the chance to win the prize, which is unknown because we have so many news updates on the Twitter to keep you up to date. Let's take a look at the next article here to see what is going on next. We have, let's get this right, we are on to P2P. Bitcoin exchange Paxful suspends operations indefinitely. Now, when I first read this, I read Paxos and I was absolutely petrified, but we can see here that it's Paxful. So its decision to suspend its marketplace comes barely 5 days after it refunded users who lost money through Celsius's Earn platform. And we can see here the peer-to-peer Bitcoin exchange has suspended its marketplace, citing key staff departures and regulatory challenges for the crypto industry. And so it's really sad to see another cryptocurrency company suffer during this bearish time of the market and when regulations just don't have the clarity that they need in order for cryptocurrency companies to grow. The CEO stated, today Paxful will be suspending its marketplace. We are not sure if it will come back. This will probably come as a shock to many. While I cannot share the full story now, I can say that unfortunately we have had to unfortunately have had some key staff departures. Also, regulatory challenges for the industry continue to grow, especially in the peer-to-peer market and most heavily in the US. So that's what we're seeing here. The US regulators are just not giving the industry clarity, and therefore they are coming at different cryptocurrency companies, making it incredibly difficult for cryptocurrency companies to grow, and companies within the US are just moving out the space or shutting down altogether because those regulations are so difficult and unclear right now, and we need clarity on that. Let's move on to the next article because I know we all want to get onto the Bitcoin analysis to see what's going on in the news. We have here DeFi protocol Aave proposes expansion to BNB chain. So Aave is a lending platform. We can see here a lending protocol to the and it wants to move onto the BNB chain. If approved, Aave version 3 will be deployed on the blockchain with BNB, wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ethereum, wrapped Ethereum, USDC, and USDT as supported collateral assets according to the proposal. So this is a big move for Aave, and that's pretty exciting. So I think that could be really good for Aave to grow. And let's see at the price of Aave. Let's see how this has responded to this proposal. When was this news article released? Let's take a look at the Crypto Saving Expert website. The best cryptocurrency news in terms of market cap. I've moved my camera and it feels like it's really low, but it looks like I'm really low on the screen still. Maybe I just need to lean forward a little bit more. So we can see here that this news was launched 4 hours ago. So let's take a look at the hour chart. We have seen a nice move to the upside in the last 24 hours for Aave. I mean, at 11 p.m. on Monday, it was trading at $73, and it's up 7.8%, up to $78. So it's seen a nice run to the upside. Following this news, I'm sure a lot of people will be in favor of this idea. Let's move on to the next article here and see what is next. We have a luxury brand, Ralph Lauren, now accepts crypto payments in new Miami district store. Positive things here. We like to see adoption. Let's move on quickly. Not too fussed about news like this. We have Gucci and Yuga Labs to release other size pendants. So we're seeing big names and big luxury brands entering the cryptocurrency space or accepting cryptocurrencies. Positivity. I like to see this kind of thing. It makes cryptocurrency seem a little bit more luxurious. A lot of people think crypto is a scam. They think that crypto is full of people trying to grab your money. Maybe when they see these luxury brands getting involved, it may help change the perspective that people have on cryptocurrency. But let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Let's go into the 4-hour chart here and see what's going on in the shorter time frames. All of my lines have been deleted since I set up this stream, so let's start these again. I was looking at this level of support, right, and I've taken from this point here to this point here to this point here. Now, I actually want to take it instead from these wicks and these wicks, and you can see here, this lines up pretty nicely. So I think we have a current level of support at around $27,280. Now, we were seeing lots of calls for a breakout yesterday, but if you would take this level here and this level here, this is one that I'm particularly looking at. So I want to see the price of Bitcoin close an hourly, a 4-hour chart, a 4-hour candle, above this level of resistance at $28,850. And if we do, I'll be pretty excited. So that's what we're seeing right here. And we can see here, we also have some horizontal lines of resistance as well. So we have one at 28,750. We're currently facing one right now at 28,580. We've bounced this level of resistance here, here, and here as well. So this is a pretty strong level of resistance. One we'll have to see if we can break through. Let's get this chart right. We also have some levels of support within the price of Bitcoin right now. We have one at 27,730. As I said, we have one at 27,300, 26.9 and 26.6. Let's add some indicators onto our chart to see what's going on. Let's take a look at the MACD and the RSI, traditional indicators to take a look at. We can see here the MACD on the daily chart was ticking into bearish momentum, and a lot of people were full of fear. And we can see here that the MACD did tick into bearish. A lot of people were scared, but the bearish momentum's already starting to die down. So that could be a very small glimpse of being in the bearish territory before we can start to move back up into the bullish momentum on the MACD chart. For the daily chart, we should keep an eye on this, but the fact that it's already starting to, what's the word? The bearish momentum is starting to drop. So that is pretty nice to see. Hopefully this continues. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart, the MACD has been pretty neutral for an extended period of time now. We are starting to gain some bullish momentum here. Hopefully this continues. On the RSI chart, we're not looking too oversold or too overbought either. It's looking pretty neutral. So all in all, it's looking pretty nice. The only thing we're facing right now is these levels of resistance that we've just discussed, and we are currently trying to break through this $28,580 level. What I like to see before I do classify anything as a breakout is a candle close on the specific price chart above the level of resistance or below the level of support. We see wicks like this all the time, and that is when the price has just moved up to this level and come back down, and then nothing really comes of it. So we want to see the candles close above. If we don't see a candle close above this level within the next couple of 4-hour candles, it may be that we are going to get rejected and we are going to test some of those supports once again. But we will be keeping our eyes on that. So if you do enjoy these cryptocurrency updates and Bitcoin analysis, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news with me. That I do these live streams every single day at 11 to 12 a.m. BST time. So make sure to check us out and like and subscribe and press the bell notification button if you haven't already. But that is all we have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in once again, and I will see you all back here tomorrow.